Hello everyone, and welcome back to another base tutorial. Today I'll be showing an interesting plains whole base. This base includes a storage room, smelting room, and 3 different farms, which are sugarcane, watermelon, and wheat, all enclosed within the base itself to conserve on space. This base has lots of storage littered around the base for any quick access storage for whatever you need in the near vicinity. But if you're looking for a starter base that checks off all of the basic needs of an early base like storage, farms for food, as well as smelting, then I would highly recommend this base for anyone who is looking to make a nice house as your first one that also has a practical purpose. And with the intro out of the way, let's get right into the tutorial. Okay, so for the first step, you're going to want to find a nice flat piece of land in a plains biome, preferably because they're relatively flat, and that's kind of the biome I had in mind of where this would exist. But of course, you can put it in whatever biome you want. Entirely up to you. However, first step is you're going to need to make 4 6 radius circles, all connected on their kind of adjacent sides, as you can kind of think of. I have a diagram in the top right there of how to make the 6 radius circles. After you've done that, you're going to want to go down 1 block on the inside of those circles and make a 5 radius circle. Again, diagram is provided. Go down another block, same radius, and then another block. However, we're going to be replacing those blocks with oak logs. Afterwards, those extra little those little holes you can kind of think of between the 6 radius and the 5 radius, because those circles don't necessarily completely align with each other, those are going to be filled in with oak logs with leaves on top as like kind of a nice little planter, kind of spread it around. And then the next step, for all of the straight line segments, the long segments of your 6 radius circles, replace the 3 middle blocks with stripped oak logs, and then put spruce trapdoors over top of the middle blocks. Now, don't put any trapdoors on the insides of the circles because those are going to be placed with glass. But then, as for the centerpiece is kind of up to you. In the preview, I did a tree. However, that's kind of a little bit difficult to do with this kind of formatting without kind of just doing a bit of a rest of the owl kind of diagram where it's just like, oh, the tree is not here, and then the tree is here. So I decided to do a bit of a fountain because it's a little bit simpler, but I kind of left in the top right a diagram of the footprint of the fountain. Again, you can kind of do whatever you want. The fountain in the middle is 5 blocks tall. It's a bit of a spiral, so it's got just like a staircase going down. Relatively simple, just a simple centerpiece. You can even just leave it blank if you want to, but I like to have it there just to kind of make it feel a little bit more full and less flat. And then for the final step, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to empty out the middle of those 4 circles. So the cutoff point is going to be those 5 block long segments that go into the center of the build. So overall, you're going to want to cut out all of the blocks that were originally in the middle, and then the walls that are going to be in between the circles. Those are going to be all cut out, and we're going to be using all of that space. Alright, so for the next step, you're going to have a 3x3 opening between the 2 circles. So after you've kind of cleared everything out, you're going to have a 3x3 there. You're going to want to cut back 4 blocks and then go up an extra 2 steps there. And then from those 4 blocks back, you're going to put down your stairs and then fill in the 3x3 on the bottom with oak planks. So you cut back 4 blocks, so then you can compensate with the stairs being an extra block. Ideally, the base platform there going in should be 3 blocks long and 3 blocks wide. Now, a diagram at the top right there has been provided. This is purely just a top-down of what you can't see from this camera angle, being as I did add a little bit of extra things on the top lip there. So this is a top down. The 3x3 oak planks are the stairs, and then the 3 stripped oak logs are going to be at the top of the stairs there, and then along the sides is going to be oak logs. Alright, so for the next step, we're going to be doing the centerpiece. And the schematic is a little bit odd, but I just wanted to include everything that was important for the placement of it. So we've got the 3x3 dirt blocks there to denote that it's 3 blocks away from the entrance. The top low blocks there are going to be the 2 circles that it's coming out from. And then from there, you can kind of see that this is kind of less a circle and more a hexagon, because you have 3 blocks on the top, 3 diagonal blocks, 3 going down, and then kind of 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So that's going to be the rim, and then the platform on the inside is going to follow a little bit of a different shape. So it's going to be kind of a bit more of a star shape. So it's got a square in the middle with 2 blocks coming out in the center of each of those sides there. After that, you can fill it up with whatever you want. I kind of did a bit of a stone centerpiece with cobblestone, mossy cobble, azalea bushes, some moss and grass, just to kind of give it a little bit of greenery in the middle. And then afterwards, connecting to the sides, to each of the diagonals, I kind of put in some more stripped oak logs, just to kind of give it a little bit better of a look. And I also put in a white glass railing there, just to kind of really complete the centerpiece there. And I also added in lanterns, so there's going to be 1 in the middle, and then there's going to be 4 on top of each of the glass pane kind of railings, attached to each of the wood kind of rafters going on the top there. Okay, and then for the first room, so as soon as you come in, this is going to be the room to the right. Now, of course, because it's symmetrical in all directions, you can kind of pick whichever entranceway works best for you, because of course this is going to be an entry you're going to be coming in and out of a lot of, and this is going to be the storage room, so obviously heavily trafficked. You should probably think about that before you arrange the rooms that you want. But the first step is you're going to put 6 double chests on each of the sides there, with a azalea bush in between and then 2 leaf blocks on top of that. Underneath the chests, I put oak planks. So underneath the chests, so there's only 1 grass block along the wall there. In each of the opposite corners, I put a half slab, and then in the far corner, I put a crafting table. Afterwards, I just kind of paved a path with the shovel, and then added some moss to add a little bit of depth and different coloring to the room. Next step is I added a bridge. So this is a 2-layer design. Of course, you don't need to do the 2 layers, but if you're going to build the whole thing, you should do a bridge here. So a bridge is going to be a 2x3 platform of spruce half slabs, connected with spruce trapdoors to kind of have a bit of a half slab to go up. And then I also have oak logs on either side of the bridge with trapdoor railings that are going to be facing towards that 3x3 door that you have not cut out yet. And so this is going to be a bridge because the stairway going down to the 2nd floor is going to cut underneath that to get to the 2nd floor. And then finally, I just kind of put in some leaves and some grass in the corner there to give it a little bit of extra greenery and some extra foliage on the inside to make it look a little bit better and more full. Okay, now for the room opposite of the storage room, or at least this is where I put it, but this is going to be the sugarcane farm. So the first step is you're going to want to cut out kind of along the wall there your water trough. On the bottom of the water trough, I put oak half slabs This is to kind of prevent the water from spilling everywhere when you're cutting out the basement. That's just kind of a quality of life thing. You don't need to have that there. And then I put the half slabs in each of the corners as kind of decoration. Then you're going to want to fill it in. You can still do the trick where you can have the kind of put the water every other block and it'll fill in between. That still works here. Afterwards, I put on trapdoors over top. You don't need to do this. I just did this so that it would be easier to pick up all the items and run over across without having to walk through the water. But you can have the water exposed if that's something you want to do. Afterwards, put in the sugarcane, and then they can grow. And then afterwards, I cut out a path as well as put in the bridge. Exact same design as the storage room, so you can just mirror the design. Exactly the same here. And then of course, in this corner I did it a little bit differently. So instead of just leaves and grass, I wanted it to be a little bit more of a wet design. So again, half slabs on the bottom, waterlogged them. And a cool little thing that I noticed was that if you have waterlogged half slabs, you can still put lily pads on top. Which is a really nice feature. So if you have any lily pads and you want to put them in, then you can do that. Alright, now for the room on the opposite side of the bridge of the sugarcane farm. To kind of continue on the theme of a farm here, I'm going to be putting in a watermelon farm. This one's going to be really easy. So you're going to want to cut out the floor on the bottom. So you want to cut back 2 blocks. So the blocks that were originally the oak logs, those are then going to be tilled land, and then the block one back is going to be water. You don't actually need to have it all be water. You can actually just have the one block in the middle, because that one block in the middle can hydrate all of those tilled lands. So you don't need to fill it all in. You can only just do like the one block and it'll be perfectly fine. But just for the sake of symmetry, I guess you could say, and having an even look all the way across, I did it as all water blocks. And again, these are half slabbed on the bottom to kind of prevent the water from spilling everywhere when you're making the basement. Again, more of a quality life thing than kind of a looks thing. And the other thing that I did as well is that the block above the oak logs that you just removed, I removed those oak planks as well and replaced it with half slabs. That's another thing I did. You don't need to do this. I just kind of did this so then I can kind of see the plants in behind as the watermelons grow. Alright, and then the next step is above, so the block that you replaced for the half slabs, above those you're going to put 3 barrels and then 2 half slabs in between, just for a little bit of storage for their farm, for any excess watermelons and or seeds or hose or whatever. And then also I cut a little path here, again putting moss and half slabs in the corners. And then I also put in the foliage in the corner there. Leaves, grass, super simple stuff. Okay, now for the last room here, it's going to be a little bit different than the other ones, because this one is going to be oak wood floor instead of path cut out on the bottom. So this is going to be the one corner that's going to be a little bit more refined than the other ones. But this one is actually going to be a barrel storage room. So if you want kind of smaller scale storage, to kind of put smaller things here and there, put iron frames in front of them to kind of keep them nice and organized, you can do that here in this corner. And then for the last step here is you're going to have your planter in the corner, trapdoors on the walls as well, with whatever kind of foliage or plants you want in the corner there to kind of finish the look. And then for the absolute last step for the entire top room is you're going to put in the roof, which is going to be glass. Okay, now that's the entire first floor finished. There's just one last step to do, which is just a little bit of touch-ups on the top here. So, key things to note here are the fences that are on top of the logs going along each of the entrances or exits, if you want to think of them that way. And then there's also half slabs put on top of kind of each of the kind of corners, I guess you could say, of the circles, kind of next to those leaves there. So that's kind of an extra thing to add some depth to the build, make it not look so flat. But if this is the only layer that you want to build for this base, then that's great. You can kind of just cut in the extra entranceways and remove the bridges and just kind of have them be extra paths onto the first floor. But if you also want more space, because you know this doesn't have furnaces, doesn't have a bedroom, doesn't have a wheat farm, then I would advise going for the second floor, which is what we're going to be getting into right now. Okay, now for the first step, basically the same sets of stairs. However, instead of going down 3 blocks, you're going to go down an extra 4. So you're going to have 7 sets of stairs, and on the bottom, you're going to have just a wood platform. So in total, you're going to have to dig out 8 blocks down, or 4 blocks below the floor of the top floor to complete the sets of stairs there. Okay, now for the next step, you're going to be clearing out the set of space. So think of it as going 4 blocks below the floor on the first floor. And you're basically just going to be mirroring 6 block radius from the center of the other circles above. So it's the same circles, but just in the basement floor. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to mirror the hexagon that's on the top floor onto the bottom floor. After you've mirrored it, you're going to put in the dirt platform. So different from the one on the top that's more of a star shape. This one's just a smaller hexagon. Basically just think of having a 1 block gap between the hexagon on the outside to the hexagon on the inside, but is made of grass. And then of course put half slabs over top. And then again, I filled in that gap with water. You don't need to put half slabs, but you can if you want. And then in the middle, I put again another cobblestone centerpiece, and then surrounded it with greenery like azalea bushes, grass, wheat, and leaves. And then in the water, I also chose to put small drip leaf as well as lily pads, but you can kind of put whatever you want in the middle here. This is just what I did because I thought it looked pretty good. All right, now to the room to your right on the stairs that you've just worked on, or you can think of it as the room below the barrel storage room. What you're going to want to do is you're going to put down a floor pattern as you see right here. Basically just have 6 stripped oak logs going along the stairs there to the right, just 6, and then at the corner stone brick, and then complete the corner with another 6, and then just have the stone brick on the other side there. Fill in the roof. So I actually am covering the entire roof with oak half slabs because obviously the first floor flooring is dirt or grass and pathing, so the bottom is kind of gross. Kind of want to cover that up, so I'm using oak half slabs to do that. And then I'm also putting in oak pillars in just the corners there. Next step, kind of a lot going on here, but basically just putting in 3x3 furnaces in the centers, stripped oak logs along the floor there, kind of like baseboards, filling everything else in with oak. In the corner, I'm putting 2 barrels, upside down stairs on top and bottom, and then I'm extending the roof by 1 half slab, making it a full block, and then putting lanterns attached to those, only 3. And then last step here is in the left corner there, I kind of dug out some space. So it's going to be kind of 1 block of water, and then on the other side is going to be leaves. On the opposite side, you can leave it as whatever, but I covered it with wood just so that if you look behind the leaves, you don't see like stone or whatnot. So I filled in behind the leaves, but you don't have to do that because it's kind of hard to see behind them anyways because it's water, then leaves, and then whatever. And then of course I put a line of leaves along the base there to kind of have like a barrier between the furnace room and then the centerpiece. Kind of have a line of leaves there. Okay, now on the other side, what you're going to want to do is kind of fill in the floors and walls similarly to the other floor. However, no stone brick on the floor. Same thing with the stripped oak logs. And then on the walls, I kind of did a bit of a kind of a plus sign with the logs, as you can see. Now, one thing you can't see is that to the right, off screen, there's actually a slit between the two logs there. I just put a lantern in there. So it's like cut in by one block, and then there's oak planks along the back, and then with a lantern in the middle there. But you can leave it full. You'll just have to put down an extra lantern to make sure everything's nice and lit. Afterwards, triple bed and then some barrels. One thing to note here is that I am putting stairs on either side of the beds there with a backboard of planks, and then just putting fencing on top of the stairs. And then from there, on top of the fences, I'm just filling in the half slabs to full blocks to kind of come down an extra block. And then the carpet, I wanted a carpet to make it kind of stand out from all the other rooms, make the flooring a little bit different, but also add some more color into this room. The carpet can be whatever color you want. It doesn't even need to be this like kind of triangle shape. You can have it be a square, kind of offset to one side. And then of course the plants, same thing that you did on before, which is going to be leaves and then half slabs to kind of differentiate between the carpet and the leaves. All right, now onto the wheat farm. So with this one, I'm only going to be showing one side because the other side is completely the same. You just kind of have to mirror it. But first step is you're going to want to cut out L shape into the floor there. One thing to keep in mind here is that this L shape, when it turns to the left, it's aligning itself to the right side of the pathway connecting the two ones. So basically, if you were from the hexagon going to add an extra pole coming right off of the hexagon on the left hand side, as you can kind of see, there's an extra log there. It'll make the pathway 2 blocks wide. You're going to want to align with that. On the floor, I replaced the floor. This is going to be filled up with water, but I replaced it with the stripped oak logs just to kind of make it feel a little bit more complete. But you can leave it as whatever block it's going to be because you're not really going to see it because there's going to be a bridge over top of it. But I filled it in because I thought it would look better. After this, you're going to put in some L-shape oak half slabs. This is so then you can get down to the wheat without trampling on it, because if you go and step off of the bridge, you're going to be falling a block and you're going to trample the wheat on the floor. So this is going to help you get down without trampling anything. And then of course this room is going to have more lighting, so same walls as all the other ones, and then I'm adding in more lanterns, so then all of the wheat has ample light for it to grow. And the last step here is just plant the wheat. Alright, now for the area in between the two rooms here, so on the other side I just kind of had like a water fixture with like a lantern in the middle. With this one, it's actually going to be a useful workstation for you to have quick storage for like hoes and seeds and whatnot if you wanted to change it out to like potatoes or carrots, because of course it can be either or. It just has to grow the same as wheat. But the first step here is you're going to cut back. So you're going to be cutting back 4 blocks. So one past the logs on the other side. Afterwards, you're going to fill in the floor, fill in the walls. One thing to note is that the dirt on the roof here, you don't actually see on the first floors. You can just replace it with oak planks. Everything's okay. And then kind of just like run the half slab oaks, just lead it across the top there. And then of course in front of the dirt there, you're going to put in 3 barrels, upside down staircases, crafting table, and then on either side there you're going to have the leaves to kind of complete the little workstation here for any sort of quick access things you need for the farm. Okay, one last step. You're going to be placing lanterns on the middle of each of the 6 sides on the oak logs running along the ceiling there. This is going to provide ample light for both the wheat growing in your farms as well as your furnace room and bedroom. Even though you don't actually need these to prevent mobs from spawning because of the new thing they did where as long as it's above 0, mobs can't spawn, which is really nice. But this is just to add ample light for everything to look nice and not dark. Okay, we're all done. Everything's finished. You got your storage room, you got your sugarcane farm, watermelon farm, wheat farm, bedroom. You got a furnace room. Everything you could ever need for a starter base is right here. And it doesn't even jut out of the ground. It's all cut in, pretty low profile, so you can put it anywhere in the plains biome. I hope you guys enjoyed the build. If you guys did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all those things. If there's anything that you did to this build that you think would make it look better, leave in the comment down below. Anything you added to the build you think that would make it look better, things you changed to suit your needs, I'd love to hear it down in the comments down below. And with that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.